Tell somebody. People who haven't been molested, they don't know anything about it. And people that have been molested, they don't want to talk about it. I mean, who wants to talk about or relive moments of somebody touching you? So since nobody wants to talk about it, it's going to keep getting swept under the rug. Child molesters aren't scared because nobody's talking about it. Nobody's putting the light on them. But I am. I'm here. I'm here to tell somebody. And I'm here to tell you to tell somebody. Tell somebody. So you don't want to tell anybody you've been molested? Why? You scared, shy, embarrassed, ashamed? The only person that should be ashamed is the person that molested you. Tell your story. Help save lives. Tell somebody. Ever since I told the story of me being molested, people keep messaging me, asking me how am I so courageous and so strong to tell my story. But truth is, we're all strong. We're all courageous. You just got to believe in yourself. Tell somebody. People keep asking me when should they tell and how should they tell that they've been molested. When? Now. How? Tell them the truth. Don't sugarcoat anything. Tell them who, what, when, where, why. Tell them all the details. People need to know. Tell somebody. Tell somebody. Someone messaged me and asked me, am I just now telling my story of molestation so I can get 15 minutes of fame? 15 minutes? I'm trying to get 1,000,000 minutes. Not of fame, but to bring awareness that child molestation does happen. Tell somebody. Because when my grandma used to go to the store or go for a run in the morning, my grandfather used to come in whatever room I was in with a porn magazine and flip through the pages and ask me could he do things to me that were in the magazines. And I used to tell him yes, because I didn't know any better. So tell somebody and teach your kids. Because like I said before, what you don't teach your kids, they're going to learn from the first person that does. This is me when I was 4 or 5 years old. And this is the man that molested me. His name is Ted DeJong. He's my grandfather. Look how cute I was. And look at him. He just looks like a sick old pedophile. But he's dead now. He died of some type of rare lung disease. So when I was about 7 years old, I told my aunt, Linda Reese of Texas, and my mom, Judy DeJong of Fairfield, and my aunt, Sharon Clapman of Santa Cruz, that I was getting molested by my grandfather, Ted DeJong of Roseville, California. They confronted him. He admitted to molesting me, cried, said that he was sorry, said that the devil made him do it, and that he promised he would never do it again. And my aunt said that she was going to get him a Bible so that he could read it to make sure he didn't do it again. You see, after I told my mom and her 2 sisters that their father, my grandfather, was molesting me, they said they'd make him stop. But they told me I couldn't tell anybody. I couldn't tell the police because the police would take him to jail. And he said he'd kill himself if he had to go to jail. And they told me I couldn't tell my dad because if I told my dad would kill him. Either way, they told me I couldn't tell. And they told me that he'd stop. They told me that I wasn't allowed to be around him, but they still brought me around him. And I still got molested, even after I told. So that's why my movement is tell somebody. Because even if you tell somebody, if that doesn't work, you got to tell somebody else and tell somebody else. You got to keep telling people. The person that molested me is dead, and I'm still telling this story. I'm going to keep telling this story till I'm dead. I told my daughter this story. I told my daughter that my grandfather touched me, and that's why I'm teaching her how not to let people touch her. I'm telling my story. You got to tell yours too. This picture is a real eye-opener. Because while my grandfather is shaking my dad's hand, my dad has no idea that at this moment, his father-in-law is molesting us. My grandfather is shaking my dad's hand like there's not a care in the world. Really, he's laughing in his face. He's saying, ha ha, I'm molesting your kids and you have no idea. This is sick. I told my dad that I didn't want to share this story and name names. I didn't want to say my mom's name or my aunt's name. I told him that they're my family. I felt like I still needed to protect them, but what he told me is that family wouldn't put me in harm's way. Family wouldn't feed me to the devil. My family wouldn't have let me get molested by my grandfather, then asked me as a 7-year-old to keep that a secret, and then allow me to still go over there and still get molested. My family didn't protect me. My mom did not protect me. And the one person that could have saved me, which was my dad, my other parent, my mom made me promise not to tell. You know, I think the coldest part in my situation is how my family's reacting right now. When I told my mom and my aunts that their dad was molesting me, they told me to keep it a secret. And for 20 years, I kept it a secret till their dad died. I could have told the police, he could have went to jail, I could have told my dad, but I kept that secret for them. And now I've told my dad, and I'm telling the world because I'm bringing awareness to the situation that molestation happens so close at home. And the people that turn their backs on you end up being your family members, the ones that are supposed to support you and protect you. So now that I've told my dad and everyone about this molestation, my mom, the one person who was supposed to protect me that didn't, and that's what the worst. She's the worst out of everyone because she still brought me around. My grandfather, she doesn't call me, she doesn't text me, she doesn't ask me how I'm doing, how I've been. She said that she'll pay for me to get psychiatric help, whatever my insurance doesn't cover. That's how far that she feels like helping me. You know, I recently just told my mom all the things that her dad did to me, how he tried to touch me and make me touch him, and I told her all the different times, and she said, oh, I didn't even realize he did that many things to you, and I didn't realize it went on so long. Yeah, because you didn't ask, that's why. I would have asked. I have a 5-year-old daughter. If my daughter came home and told me that somebody was molesting her, I'd be asking who, what, when, where, why, how long. I'd be asking so many questions. I would know every event in detail that happened. She didn't ask. She didn't give a. My mom said, you need to see a psychiatrist. Get help for this. Get help for this. I took you to a psychiatrist one time when you were 7. One time. You took me to a psychiatrist one time. And you think that cured me? Now I'm 28. It's been 20 years. And now you just not worried about me getting a psychiatrist? Just because I'm just putting it out on the table now? Then my Aunt Sharon, she done deleted me from Instagram. I don't think we're friends on Facebook anymore either. I guess she can't handle these videos. I'm just telling the truth. If you have nothing, if you were there for me, and you were protecting me, there's no reason why we're not friends on Facebook. My Aunt Linda, oh, that's a whole nother story. She's all the way in Texas. That's a whole nother story. But let me tell you, I'm mad at her the most because that's who I came to first. I didn't tell my mom. I didn't tell my other aunt. Not my grandma, not my dad, not my friends. My Aunt Linda in Texas was the first person that I ever told. And I remember I was sitting in the car with her. I was 7 years old, by the way. And I was like, is it okay for people to touch your private parts? And she was like, no, why? And I was like, because Opa, my grandfather's touching me there. And she was like, oh, really? Wow. Like, you know, she seemed so concerned. She didn't care. She didn't care. I came to her and confided to her, and now she's trying to tell me that I didn't even tell her that. She's trying to tell me that didn't even happen. She's trying to tell me that she found out from my mom or something that I was molested. So for me to tell her that I was molested, and now she's telling me that didn't even happen, that's like a slap in the face, but that's okay. That didn't do nothing but make me strong, made me strong enough to make these videos. My Aunt Linda told me that I need to find a Christian church and a Christian counselor to get through this. She said I need to go find God. I told her, I said, when I was 7 years old and I came to you and told you I was getting molested, I need your help, I knew God. And the one person who could save me, which was my dad, that you told me not to tell, he knew God. I said, who doesn't know God is you. Your God is your dad and the devil. And you guys keep trying to sweep these secrets under the rug. Let them out. Let these secrets out. Even though my 2 aunts and my mom and my grandma all knew that I was getting molested at a young age by their dad, I don't hate them. The Bible says that you gotta forgive. They got issues though. They got issues. You know, I'm starting a positive movement with this. Tell somebody, and even just including my daughter in it, letting my daughter know what's going on. She's a child advocate now too. So I send my aunts and my mom and my grandma my videos, the same videos that you guys see. I send them the same pictures you guys see of me and my daughter advocating. My grandma never writes me. She still hasn't wrote me. My mom never writes me back. My Aunt Sharon, she never writes me back. The only person that writes me back is my Aunt Linda. My Aunt Linda keeps texting me, telling me that I need to find a counselor to work through this. I'm trying to talk to y'all. You guys knew about it. I'm trying to get through this with you. My two aunts, my grandma and my mom, they aided my grandfather. They aided him. They helped him molest me. They knew that he needed help. They wouldn't go get him help. And then they turned a deaf ear and a blind eye to me when I needed help. All I want to do is take what happened to me and turn it into positivity. So I opened up a GoFundMe account, starting a charity, a foundation to help sexually abused victims, kids and adults. See, to run a charity or a foundation, you need money. So I text the four people that aided and helped my grandfather molest me, my two aunts, my grandma, and my mom. I text them the link to my GoFundMe account, and I thought out of all people, they would be the ones to want to donate. I mean, I text them and told them, even though the devil, which is their dad, even though the devil's dead, his money is still here. You guys are still here, so why not do the right thing and take some of his money and help me help others? You know what? I haven't heard anything from them. No text messages. You know how much money they've donated? $0. Tell somebody. My grandma, two aunts and mom, they didn't even help me. They didn't even save me. They didn't protect me. So how am I going to expect them to help me save other people? It's cool. I don't want that money. I don't want their money anyways. That's dirty money. My Aunt Linda said that when God calls her home, she knows she's going there because her conscience is clear. Is your conscience clear? Tell somebody. This is my vision. My vision is clear. My vision is to tell. Tell you to tell somebody. Just like I told my story, tell your story. So what are you waiting for? Tell somebody. Tell somebody. Tell somebody. You know, somebody wrote me and told me that they were molested when they were younger, but they didn't want to tell their parents because their dad was dying of a disease and their mom was also sick of a disease. But you know what? You have to tell. That's what my message is. Tell somebody. You have to tell your parents. I have a 5-year-old daughter, and if anything happened to her, especially if I was on my deathbed, no matter how long ago it was, I would want to know. I want to know everything that goes on with my daughter. So tell somebody. Tell somebody. Tell somebody. Because I promise you're going to feel so much better when you do.